Welcome to the latest episode of the newly named Coastal Compass.
Well, that's allegedly a podcast. We didn't do anything last week. We were off. So it's been 2 weeks since we sat down. Levi, what's happened over the last couple of weeks?
Wow, I live a very boring life.
All right, that's exciting.
No, it was fun. No, we had some fun. Let's see, what was last weekend, 4th of July?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that what it was?
Last Tuesday.
So last weekend, we went to a friend's apartment complex and hit up the pool on Sunday. But I'm pretty sure Saturday we just kind of bounced around and just hung out at different establishments, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yep, we do.
On Monday, went and saw the new Flash movie with my father. I loved it. Now, apparently the critics hate it, and, you know, the reasons why they hate it is stupid. Whatever. It's a fun action movie, has comedy in it. I mean, come on, let's be honest. It's a great comic book movie.
Okay. All right. Of the bars you went to over the last few days, which one did you have the most fun at?
This is going to be a shock. This is definitely going to be a shock. What's Panini Pete's new place down at
Waterfront?
Waterfront. So Amy and I on Saturday decided to just try something totally different. We usually hit the same places, Top of the Bay or Dragonfly Tavern or whatever. We try to hit the same places because we're comfortable in them. But we went to Waterfront, and previous people that I had spoken to had a less than memorable occasion there. We sat at the bar. Bartender was awesome. Amy got a frosé, which is frozen rosé wine. It was excellent. I don't even like frosés. It was good. It was a peach frosé. The bartender was awesome, very knowledgeable, very conversational. And then we decided to try the sampler platter for the appetizers.
It was good.
It was good.
That's what
good.
we want to hear.
So it's
even
1-1
Well,
from what we've
we
heard.
even trolled a friend of ours with it too. So we took a picture of what the ingredients were, which was chimichurri. Hey Lee, you're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. What about y'all?
I spent the week in LJ.
LJ, Georgia.
LJ has a new winery that opened up 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
Did you get to stomp grapes?
No. You don't want these nasty feet. Come on, man. But the wines are good.
Good.
And I'm a snob. I mean,
Yeah,
a lot
you
of
are.
people tell you I'm a snob.
But you know wine. See, that being a snob and knowing wine is two different things. Some people,
Oh yeah.
We enjoyed it.
What's that near?
Mountains, North Georgia. Okay. It's probably a little better description of how to get there than what you gave last time.
Oh yeah,
Did
definitely.
you figure out where that was?
Yeah, Jerome, Arizona.
Okay, Jerome.
Did
That
you-
was the one with the mining colony and all. Yeah. So sorry
Did you
about
like the
that.
short that I pulled out?
Oh, I loved it. That was
fun.
it was such a just a.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. It was.
It was like a lightsaber middle finger to my forehead.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, I loved it though. That was
Long-winded
great.
story.
Well, as soon as I saw the caption, I was like, "Yep, that was me."
Long-winded story.
Yeah,
No
I
point.
told
It's
her
called a
story
thumb.
with
It's
no
called a
point.
thumbnail.
Yeah.
It's called, and I worked very hard to get that thumbnail. I had a wonderful 4th of July. I did the DJ the Grand Hotel's 4th of July celebration, and
How was the turnout for that? Now, like
it's like
is
a
that
couple of
huge?
thousand people.
No way.
Yeah,
It's busy.
It's big. They did kind of mess me up. They went. They told me it was going to be a 12-minute fireworks show, and I coordinate the music with the fireworks, obviously.
right.
And it was about 17 minutes.
Oh,
So the song I end on every year just didn't work because we went over like 4.5 minutes. Right?
God bless the USA. No, I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
that's true.
No, is it really?
Oh yeah, that's what they want. Now I'll tell you this.
No, it's not.
It is.
Oh, that's amazing. I was just joking. That's awesome.
Now let me tell you what I do. Also do is I have a 1-minute 27-second clip of Dixie that I put in the fireworks display too. So a little throwback for us. But anyway, it didn't end up on that, and then I have extra music program just in case
Ready to
it
go.
doesn't, and it did. So that's what we did. But did a wedding. That was a ton of fun.
What day was that?
Saturday.
What's
Saturday.
the date? That's what, the first?
No, that would
No,
be
no, no,
July.
7th or something
Seventh.
like
Oh,
that.
this past Saturday. Sorry, I thought you were talking about like the
No, it-
Saturday
it-
before the 4th of July, and I'm like, man, your weekend was crazy.
No, it was it was just this past one. It was at Stillwood Country Club, and I like that place. It is a cool place.
Yeah, it is.
The water out there, and then the wedding. It was hot, but it was breezy, so that helped. But
Yeah.
congratulations to Mitch and Bianca. Great time.
Okay. So
Mitch and Bianca.
That's their names. Why you
No, I'm laughing because you just even said it at all. Congratulations to Mitch and Bianca. Like,
they're married now.
You said it like it was like, welcome to hell, mofo. You know what I mean?
that's usually after 30
I
or
would
40
never.
years.
Yeah, I would never say that. They're newlyweds, for crying out loud.
Give them time.
You got to work on your delivery.
All right. So this week we got a special guest. We got Tanner, the mushroom guy. Tanner, your name has been bounced around on this podcast for about a year or so.
It's so true.
So
Yeah,
David
you have your own
Ramey,
fangirls here.
yeah, absolutely.
It's true. It's true.
David Ramey, the chef over at Red or White, absolutely loves what you do.
Yeah, me and him become super close since I've been doing this. He's cool.
Yeah, he is absolutely cool. We love having David on here. So tell me where you're from.
I'm born down here. Parents divorced. Dad lived in Kansas. Grew up in Kansas till I was 16,
Okay.
which was 2012. So I moved here in 2012, and then I graduated in, yeah, that sounds about right. And then graduated 2014. So split here in Kansas.
Okay.
I travel down here every year to see my mom and stuff, so I was familiar with this area. So back and forth between those two.
Now, when you got out of high school, did you go straight into because you did service industry for a while, right?
Yeah, so I moved as soon as I moved here. My mom, first thing she did was she bought me a car, and then she said, "You gotta get a job." And she knew Doug. She went to high school with him,
Okay.
so she called Doug and asked if he needed any help, and he needed a dishwasher. So I started there, and then I had been there for I think it was close to 11 years, and then just recently quit.
11 years at Dragonfly. That's a long time.
Yeah,
That's a long time. Wow.
almost from the beginning.
Yeah, that's wild. And to start from doing dishes,
Yeah.
and then doing like
Yeah,
what you
that
ended
is-
up doing, like holy cow.
Let's let him tell a story.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just preempting. I'm giving him some.
All right, Tanner. So tell us a story how you went from dishwashing to growing shrooms.
So I started washing dishes there, and then at first I did not like it because I was an angsty teenager throwing in dishwashing in a kitchen, and Doug.
Yeah.
So yeah, we bumped heads, and it was rough for a while. But then eventually I started loving it, and
Okay.
someone that worked there that was running the kitchen ended up quitting or walking out or getting fired or something. And I just happened to be like the next most trained, qualified person there. And he just kind of like called me one day. I was like, "You ready?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's go, let's do it." And I was still in high school during that.
Okay.
That's wild.
So then got out of high school, and then I just kept on doing that. Eventually, I told, let's see, he offered to help me go to culinary school. Tried to do that. I did it for about a quarter, and then I was like, "There's no way I'm going to be able to pay me and my now, not at the time, but now wife. No way I'll be able to pay for us
Right.
and go to school and still work full time." I was like, "I can't do this." So I stepped out of Faulkner and called Doug and was like, "Look, how about you just let me work? You pay me. I'm like your apprentice. Any question I have, I can call you. You just teach me the science, like teach me like culinary school." So the first thing I got into was smoking meats. He gave me a smoker. I started smoking meats, and I was like, I want to go out in the woods and get my own meat. So then I got into hunting.
Okay.
And at that time, my mom and her husband ended up buying a houseboat up in the Tensas Delta.
Yeah.
Way down 225 in Stockton on Lower Bryant Landing. And they got a houseboat.
Way out there.
Yeah. They got a houseboat out there, and it's surrounded by like thousands and thousands of public acres of public hunting land.
Yep.
And you have to take a boat to get there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
But we could just go off the houseboat and canoe across the river, and it's all public land. So we started doing that, and I didn't see any deer or anything, but I started taking pictures of mushrooms because I was going out there and like this with the chef mindset. And I started seeing these mushrooms, taking pictures. Got out of the woods and was like coming back with my stepdad, and I was like, "Dude, look at all these like 20-something different kinds of mushrooms I found. I gotta be able to like eat one of these." And he laughs and says, "I'm sure you could. Go buy a book." So I went and bought a book. And then I just opened the wormhole.
Okay.
That's
Facebook.
probably like the simplest but best like advice you've ever gotten. Yeah. Go buy a book. Yeah. Oh, that's a smart idea. Okay.
So I started digging into foraging and learning how to ID wild mushrooms, and then I joined a group called Alabama Mushroom Society
Yep.
for the whole state, and they did monthly meetings in Mobile for a while. This was right before COVID. So they did monthly free meetings, and it was at Whole Foods before they closed, and we just everybody shows up and you just talk about whatever you want mushrooms. You don't pay anything. You didn't have any topics. It was just like, hey guys, nice to meet y'all. This is what I do. This is what we do. You can ask us whatever you want. And we just hung out. He ended up being the guy running that. Ended up being the owner of Fungi Farm up in Dadeville, right outside of Auburn.
Okay.
And he had a lab that makes these grow kits for mushrooms in a lab, like super high tech setting. A lot of money behind it and stuff.
So do you know what they consist of?
Yeah, inside this is hardwood sawdust, and then he adds some supplements. I think like maybe wheat bran or something.
Okay.
I'm not sure on the supplements, but basically oak sawdust. This is kind of like an imitation tree log.
Okay.
And you buy those from him.
Yeah, so I met him at this meeting, and we got to know each other. I gave him like my life story and told him what I do and why I'm at this free mushroom meeting at Whole Foods in Mobile. And I think he was like, "Oh, cool! I got a chef. Like what? Like?" And he gave me 2 of these grow kits for free. So I grew them, and I knew Doug, of course, the Dragonfly, and a few other people, and showed them. And I think Doug is the first one that said, "If you don't if you don't go like run with this, you're kind of stupid. Like you should take this and run." And when people started saying if I grow these, they'll buy them, I was like, okay, so. I'm jumping in.
I mean, they
So
are.
I ended up
right?
like buying a plastic garage shelf and wrapping it in saran wrap and just built this little thing in my bedroom and made it happen. Sold to like a chef or 2 here and there, and now it's turned into this full
So
time.
these are real mushrooms growing.
Yeah, these are blue oyster mushrooms.
Okay.
So you're definitely not going to find that at the Pig or
No, you're not.
anything where
No. My next goal is to talk to the people at the Pig and get into the Pig.
Okay. Well, maybe somebody from there will see this. Let's,
Yeah,
let's,
let's
let's
go,
make
right?
that
Hope so.
connection.
That'd be
Come on.
nice.
Anybody listening to this can help this man
So-
out. Let's do it.
And these are blue oyster.
Yeah. Yep. These are blue oyster mushrooms.
All right. So how would you recommend cooking them as a chef or as a home chef?
So these are going to have all the oyster mushrooms are going to kind of have like a generic kind of seafood flavor to them.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
How's that possible to have a seafood flavor to them?
you can honestly, I don't know. You can smell them, and you'll kind of smell smell the seafoodish flavor to it.
That's amazing.
Maybe they suck in that sea salt.
I don't know, but that's
sea salt from the
they're-
wood.
Yeah, from the wood.
Yeah, when you find them in the wild, they smell
In
like
the air
10
is
times
what I
stronger. I found them in the wild by smell before I like see them in person. I'll smell them walking through a trail and know that there's some oysters growing like around here.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Now, when you say oysters growing around here, you're talking about the
The
mushroom.
oyster mushrooms, yeah. But they have kind of like a generic seafood flavor, so they're really good in like pastas, creamy pastas, like cream cheese dips. My wife likes to take them. Sometimes I'll get the caps, like really big caps, like 4 inches in diameter, and we'll take the whole cap and we'll batter it and air fry it and do like a fried mushroom sandwich.
Oh.
She loves those with the oysters. They're pretty versatile, but they do have like a seafoody flavor to them.
Okay. So what else you got?
So these 2 are going to be ones that I have cultivated and grown. This is going to be the lion's mane. It's a little bit dried out, but that's the lion's mane.
All right, so does it have a cap like these do?
It
Or
does
is that
not.
that?
Yeah,
That's
This is it.
And that's a mushroom.
Yep. Yeah. So this is the lion's mane, and it's a really big medicinal one for brain function. Helps,
God, I need that.
helps with that.
Yeah, we all need that.
Yeah, that's what I tell everyone. Goes, I need that. I'm like, everybody needs it. I think everybody needs it. But it kind of has a taste of crab meat. And so one of the things that I cooked and brought for y'all was like imitation crab cakes with the lion's mane mushroom.
Which I cannot wait.
Yeah,
to
I can't
try.
wait to try that.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Okay.
So stay tuned in the podcast. Y'all see that. So
Yeah,
hang on.
definitely. It's gonna be
Don't go
great.
anywhere.
How do you
Something to
even
look
cut
forward
it
to.
up? How do you?
So this one you can just like rip it, just tear it up,
Okay.
and it kind of just peels into chunks. And then I just tear it up into like chunks like that, about the size.
It kind of
like
looks like crab meat.
It does kind
kind
of
of
look
like
like crab
the size
meat
of your
for real.
thumbnail, and then cook it down, kind of like that.
Okay.
You can also take these and get like a real dense one and cut it into steaks and make like a mushroom steak out of it. It's really good. And I've taken that and made grilled cheeses off of it. All
Well,
kinds
you
of
used
stuff.
to do a mushroom burger as well, right? At
Yeah.
the tavern.
Yeah,
Now,
it
what
was-
kind of mushroom was that?
I think we used different kinds, and it was the same kind of recipe as the crab cakes that I did.
Yeah,
but
I
you
always
can
wanted to try it,
substitute
and I always
different
missed
ones.
out on it, and I was sad. So,
All
yeah.
right. We got something else. One or two more? Or?
Yeah, two more.
Okay, cool.
So this one right here is called this is a chestnut mushroom, and it's got your stereotypical like mushroom look to it, unlike
Right.
the other ones. And it kind of has like an earthy, kind of nutty flavor to it. This is definitely the most versatile one I grow, and the most popular. Like if I show up at a farmer's market and I have 2 crates of these, I'm probably not coming home with any of them because
So
people
that's-
they're just
Yeah, but most people
versatile. I
just
don't think people are scared of them because they look
look like a
more
mushroom.
like a normal mushroom.
I love whoever named all these mushrooms as well, because like they
So
literally
all
named
these-
them accurately to like
Right, the way they taste
yeah,
and everything.
yeah.
So
Except
all
for the
these-
lion's mane, but it is what it is.
All these names are common names. So in some other areas of the world, they might call them something different. They all have like their scientific.
Yeah, the big.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now the button mushrooms, the portobellas that are at the grocery store. You're not growing those.
I'm not. I try to grow the ones that you can't get somewhere else.
Makes sense.
So how much mushrooms are you growing right now? Or do you have like a garage full or a greenhouse full? I don't even know if you use a greenhouse for mushrooms. I have no idea.
I built a shed. I just got like a shed kit and built it and insulated it. I'm kind of in the middle of upgrades right now because this heat hit again. And the more you
Yes.
grow, the harder the heat hits everything. Because every one of these mushroom blocks, they're alive, they're living beings, so they're producing heat as well.
Right.
So if I'm loading a shed full of them, I've had to add more controllers and fans to regulate CO2 and temperature and
So what
But I-
temp are you shooting for?
65.
Ooh,
And I hit
that's
it.
tough.
I hit 62 or 63.2. Probably an hour before we left. After I did all my upgrades these past couple of days.
No way.
Yeah,
That's a lot of upgrades. It sounds like.
I added doubled the AC unit, added 2 inches of insulation, and then added some exhaust fans with controllers on it.
Does it
Okay.
have to be dark in there?
No, they actually need light. You can grow any of these mushrooms in darkness, and they'll grow white.
They'll grow white.
White, yeah. So you need at least a little bit of light to bring the pigments.
Now,
out.
do you know, like, if that were to happen, if they were grown in darkness and they were white, does that change the flavor at all?
I do not know that, and I actually just had someone ask me that question too.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
No, and that's wild. Like, I mean, I didn't.
That'd
I
be
didn't know
very
that they
interesting
grow
because
white.
how funny would that be? You have all these different mushrooms that are all white.
Right.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the oyster ones start tasting like chicken.
Okay, and you got a couple of chanterelles over there too.
Yeah, I did.
Look at this man
These-
knowing his mushrooms.
Dude, I know
Excuse me,
those.
sir. Did
Come
you
on,
go to
man.
Auburn?
Ouch.
So chanterelles, this is really what got me into mushrooms right here. Is I started foraging, and my mom had that houseboat up there, and I'm telling you, up in the Delta, you can find seas of these. But the only problem is you gotta be able to get out there
Yeah.
because it's all like water and stuff.
Well, now tell them what's special about chanterelles. You
Yeah,
can't
so-
cultivate these, correct?
Yeah, so chanterelle mushrooms, you can't cultivate them. You can only find them in the wild.
Why?
The ones that you cultivate, they're called saprobic mushrooms, which means they're decomposers. They're gonna break down organic matter like tree logs and leaf litter and things like that. These chanterelles, morels, truffles, all the like high dollar mushrooms, they're expensive because they are called mycorrhizal, and they grow in a symbiotic relationship with typically the root system of a tree.
How cool is that?
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, so these I typically find around oaks, like the big old growth oak trees.
Very shaded areas. Typically.
Hardwoods, yeah, but typically oak trees. And then they just grow off the roots. So I'll go find patches. And this year and this season, it's only been legal to sell these for 2 years. This is the second year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Last year, my buddy that owns Fungi Farm, he's the first person in the state of Alabama to create a wild mushroom identification course through the health department of Alabama.
Okay.
And he finally got that through, and I think him and his significant other got the certificate, and then I was the third one after that. And then I don't think there's still anyone in South Alabama besides me. Everyone else that has it now is north.
So what does that mean?
That means that no one else around here can legally pick and sell these because they're not certified. through the health
Okay,
department.
gotcha.
Because there is a deadly version or a look-alike almost, a twin, an evil twin.
Yeah, there are almost like there's a lot of lookalikes to all the mushrooms. I honestly haven't really found any of the ones that look similar to these down here.
Okay.
But like this course is for the whole state of Alabama. They definitely grow up more north. But yeah, definitely whenever you're foraging, you need to be careful because there's almost always a lookalike that could poison you. Not necessarily kill you, but you might be on the toilet.
You wish you were dead.
Yeah, you might be on the toilet for a day or two.
It's one of those ones. It's like eat a little bit, wait 30 minutes, and see how you feel.
It's always suggested too, if you forage a mushroom and eat it for the first time, to start with a little bit because everyone's different.
Right.
Right.
Now, didn't you collect a rather large amount of those this year?
Yeah, I did.
How
So,
many-
so last year was the first year it was legal. My goal was 100 pounds. I think I hit like 112 pounds or something last year. But I was still working just about full time at Dragonfly.
Yeah.
And doing my business.
Okay.
And then foraging when I could.
And 100 pounds of those, that's a big box.
Yeah, that's
Because those things are light.
yeah. You'd probably be a good sized little mountain on that couch.
That's awesome.
This year,
Because I'm a good sizable mountain on this couch.
I just picked another 14 pounds yesterday, and I have these pretty much sold before I pick them. Like Jeremiah at Southwood, I deliver to him regularly, and he saw me make a post of the back of my car with all the other mushrooms, and then he commented with his personal profile and said "Chanterelles?" Because I hadn't told him yet because I have a wait list. So then I went out yesterday and picked 14 pounds and texted him in the middle of picking them, and he said, "I'll take 10 pounds when you can."
Nice.
So what do they taste like? What do the chanterelles taste like?
Deliciousness.
Yeah, the texture is the
Goodness
best part to
gracious.
me. That's like a melt in your mouth texture. They're kind of like a sweeter tasting mushroom.
And the way they
And
were
when you-
doing at Dragonfly with the tempura batter was excellent.
So I brought
That's
y'all some of these chanterelles too, cooked. I just peeled them and sauteed them in butter, garlic, and thyme. Kind of just kept it simple.
So that's David was
Man.
doing his whole chanterelle pizza.
Yeah, so my favorite way to have these is exactly how I cooked them here, and I just do a pile of them next to a good steak.
Yeah.
I don't like to cover them up too much. The texture of them and the flavor is just, it's you don't need to add much to it. You don't want to cover it up.
All right, so foraging.
This is not a mushroom I would put in like a Alfredo pasta with a bunch of other
Don't want
stuff.
to waste the taste.
Nah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a
All
great
right,
tip.
so the mushrooms growing down here that you could forage. Mm-hmm. Chanterelles during their season. What else we got?
Oyster mushrooms you can find all year round.
Okay.
Only problem with the oyster mushrooms is they have that. I think it's the seafood smell to it. They attract bugs really, really fast. So it's hard to get to them before the bugs do. You can find some big ones and stuff, and you can definitely get them edible, but you gotta beat the bugs to it.
Okay.
Even if you see little bugs on it and think it's good, there might be little like worms in the stems and stuff, and no one likes to like be cleaning something and see little worms come out of it.
Yeah, it's kind of like when people cleaning fish and they get the worms in them.
It
Yeah.
always gives you like
That's
the
gross.
heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
Like, oh, never eat that
Yeah,
again.
it would me.
You can find that oysters, the chanterelles, lion's mane you can find in the winter, but they're definitely less common the further south you go.
Okay.
So the more north you're going, the more common they are. They're not a super common mushroom, but the more likely you are to find them if you go up north Alabama.
All right, so the mushroom. Well, here's one thing for if you don't mind, as a consumer, as a restaurant junkie, which restaurants do I need to go to? You said, Jeremiah.
Oh, to try these.
We've thrown out David's name.
Yeah, David
Dragonfly.
At Red or White in Fairhope, Southwood with Jeremiah, Dragonfly, both of them, and the tavern. And the tavern has a mushroom taco on the menu.
Okay.
That stays on the menu. The Fairhope one, I just got done with the expansions and stuff. I can grow more, so I'm gonna start selling the Fairhope more. I'm about to bring them some tomorrow. So Red or White, Southwood, Dragonfly, locals in Fairhope. He's been one of my almost day one customers.
Nice.
Fishers in Orange Beach
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah.
They're
Okay.
actually
shout out to Lee.
They're actually my biggest. You know who runs that kitchen?
Carl Jones.
Emilio.
Oh, Emilio. Yeah.
He just recently kind of someone left or something, and
Yeah,
he's the
well-
one that contacted me.
My buddy's brother was working in there, and I don't know if he was running there or whether he was just working in there. His name's Carl, but he's a wild dude. I guarantee if you met him, you'd know him. So he may have been the one that left.
Gotcha. But yeah, Emilio contacted me at Fisher's.
That's awesome.
Started with 10 pounds. I think I get 20 pounds a week. My biggest customer.
Wow.
20 pounds of just mushrooms in general, or do they have a specific order every week?
They like to get a mix. They like to. So I have some other ones that are. I got the oysters that are like the seafoody flavor, and then I have these chestnuts and enokis and pioppino mushrooms, and they all kind of have an earthy, kind of nutty flavor. Mm-hmm. So they want like 10 pounds of the earthy, kind of nutty flavored ones, and then 10 pounds of the oysters. They want
Okay.
they want
Cool.
a mix if they can. If I don't have it, they'll kind of get what I got, but that's what they prefer.
All right.
So I try to get chefs to tell me what they prefer, and if I have it that week, I'll give it to them, and if I don't, I tell them what my subs are, and we kind of build
out.
from there. Yeah.
All right. So are you able to sell across state lines? Can you go into Florida?
Yeah, I'm about to start venturing into Pensacola. I'm delivering to Fisher's on Wednesday, and I have a bunch of extra mushrooms right now on purpose to take a trip, like a day trip to Pensacola, and just pass out samples everywhere.
Cool. What
Remind
about
me after
Mobile?
the show? I'll hook you up.
Do what?
I said, remind me after the show. I'll hook you up with somebody.
Perfect.
I know somebody over in Pensacola, so that's good.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
we'll compare notes. I'll give you my favorite restaurants over
Sweet.
there, too. But what about Mobile? Have you broke into that market yet? Or
Not a whole lot. Slurp Society did get from me for a little bit, but they stopped. And I think that's the only one that I have a lot of like individual people that I retail sell to in Mobile.
Okay.
There's a big like people that are following me in
Mushroom junkies.
Yeah, over in Mobile.
Well, now you do other products as well, correct?
Yeah, I do. Started with the fresh mushrooms, and then so I wasn't at first. Of course, I wasn't selling them all, and the big thing is I found out that like people are intimidated. So I kind of hit the chef part of all this and realized like that's what I can bring to the mushroom industry is making this crazy looking ingredient more comfortable for like a home chef be able to just cook in a kitchen with. So I started dehydrating them, and one of the easiest things that we started making for people to start using that are intimidated is mushroom seasoning. And I just accumulated all these dehydrated mushrooms and eventually started making dehydrating it, grinding it, and then adding chives, thyme, salt, and pepper, and just making it real simple.
Now, is this just a one kind of mushroom, or is there multiple mushrooms?
This is a mix of everything.
Okay.
It's probably a little different every time.
Yeah, it's never the
but
same
it's just
seasoning
kinda,
twice.
Yeah, we kind of just
I love it.
Nature's season.
Yeah, it
kinda
is.
deal.
That's awesome. I like
like
that.
that.
And then also on
Yeah.
top of that, we started making. This was one of the first things I started making was these tinctures, because one thing I noticed is a lot of these people mushrooms started getting bigger, and especially lion's mane was flooding Facebook ads, and there's mushroom coffees with all this and that. So everyone started approaching me about the medicinal properties of the mushroom. They didn't necessarily want to cook it or do something with the actual mushroom. They just wanted it as a supplement.
Okay.
So then I dove into the research of extracts and the best thing I can do at home without lab equipment.
Isn't that cool, Jason?
So I
Yeah,
started,
this is amazing.
He loves
started
So what are
with
you
the-
using for this for? What if I can? I say, all right. What is this? What are you?
What are the benefits?
What are the benefits? Yeah,
what are
thank
the
you.
benefits? Yeah.
So this one, it went from just 3 mushrooms or it went from lion's mane, just lion's mane tincture. Then I started making turkey tail and reishi because I found turkey tail in the wild everywhere and reishi in the wild, and I can grow the reishi pretty easy.
Okay.
So then it went to 3 mushrooms, and then I met someone through my foraging friends that lives up in north in the country, and they can get the chaga. And they said, I can ship you as much as you want whenever you want. So I got the connection on that. That's another mycorrhizal mushroom that you can't grow. And it's like one of the top tier medicinal ones. And then the maitake, I learned how to grow those too. So now it's turned into a 5-in-1 mushroom tincture. I make these all individually, and then I also sell them as a super mix.
Okay.
So there's a lot of benefits in here. The turkey tail, the big thing right now with turkey tail is there's a bunch of cancer research behind it. It helps with your immune system, and then inflammation is a big one. So like joint pains.
Okay.
Reishi is a big immune system one. It's known, the nickname for it is the mushroom of immortality. Back in the day, the Chinese emperors used to like hoard them and make tinctures and teas. They believe that made them live longer. And then the lion's mane is a really good one for brain function. So it helps prevent Alzheimer's and dementia, helps with memory, and actually gives you energy. That's why they do the coffee things with it.
Yeah.
What else? Chaga is a really, really good immune booster. That's the biggest thing with that, antioxidants and immune boosting.
Okay.
And then, did I hit them all? Maitake. A big one with maitake is regulating blood sugar and weight loss management. I don't know the details. That's the newest one I started messing with, so I'm still kind of learning.
Oh,
on the
I need some of that
maitake.
for my father-in-law.
So what do you do? You put it in water? You put it in coffee? What do you do with it?
Yeah, we just put it in the mornings. I do my coffee, and then at night I do like.
So the heat
love
doesn't bother it?
No.
How many drops would you put in there for your?
So you
tinctures?
dose 1 to 3 milliliters a day. So typically, it depends on if you, like my wife, she doesn't do things twice a day very well, so she just doses all at once.
Yeah.
I dose like a milliliter is a whole one of these drippers. That's a milliliter right there.
Okay. Okay.
So I do like 1.5 of these each time I dose, once in the morning, once at night.
Okay. And
And
then-
so how much
Coffee,
does something like that
sparkling
run?
water.
The mix is $30, and then the individual mushroom tinctures are $20.
So you would want the 5-in-1 if you wanted the whole thing, or you
That-
can get them individual.
Yeah, we typically sell the mix more than anything,
bet.
unless someone's trying to target something specifically.
Right.
yeah.
Most of the time when they hear we make a mix, they're just like, "Oh, I'll get the mix."
That's awesome, man.
most of us want all the benefits of it.
Now, have you
No
gotten
doubt.
like good feedback from this?
I've
or-
gotten a lot of good feedback. And actually, like, I love mushroom growing. I love all the stuff I do, but my favorite thing about this product is the feedback I get from people that is just mind blowing. It's almost like an experiment in itself. I've had people come back and tell me the most mind blowing one recently was eczema. It was like a 65-year-old lady or something that had
Yeah.
been dealing with eczema her whole life, said she's never heard of or never found anything that helps and like suppresses it. And she started taking my tinctures. I think it was the mix.
And she's doing it orally.
Yeah, and she used to live in Fairhope, and she moved somewhere across the country, and then messaged me and said she ran out and her eczema flared up, so she ordered four more bottles
Oh,
from
wow.
me. I was like, I'd never heard of
And just so
I never heard of, in all the research I've done, I've never seen anything about helping eczema.
Well, and
But
just
that's
so
a-
our
that's
audience
solid
is
proof.
clear, like this guy does not care about selling products. He literally is totally cool with like just helping people. So that's awesome. Yeah, he's being truthful right now.
Yeah, I've had some people come up to me and like I could tell they didn't have much money and stuff, and they were telling me about all these health problems and like dumping this life story on me. And by the end of it, I'm just like, take a bottle. Just take a bottle. It'll make me feel better about it.
Hold up now. We don't have
Yeah,
to,
we still want to sell it. We still want to sell it.
This
Yeah,
is
good
a
point.
The man's got.
Good point.
Did you hear that he has a wife? Did we
That's a
cover
good-
that?
yeah.
He does have a wife.
And he still has to pay for these blocks to grow these mushrooms.
Yeah, there we go.
Come on.
Yeah. So you can't make
Good
your
point,
own
good
like
point.
that, right?
What?
Can you make your own block, or you purchasing those from Auburn?
I get those from my buddy, which he's actually the one that's involved with me with the mushroom festival that we're
Let's talk about
starting.
All right, here we go.
And,
middle of October.
Yep.
You got to
so,
sign up for it.
So middle of October, October 20th through the 22nd at Weeks Bay Plantation, me and Fungi Farm and Weeks Bay Plantation, we kind of all teamed together. I knew Weeks Bay Plantation through Dragonfly because they used to grow beautiful heirloom tomatoes,
Right.
cherry tomatoes, all kinds of stuff.
Blueberries.
Yeah, they'd come in, and the first thing I do is start eating everything raw. Just fine. They're like, "What do you have this week?" and eating them. So he knew me as a chef there. Then I got into all this, and they're kind of turned into an event space. And
Okay.
we've been kind of talking about doing cooking things and this and that. And then me and Fungi Farm just kind of jokingly said, it would be cool if we started like a little Gulf Coast mushroom festival kind of thing. And then I just kept thinking about it. And then Weeks Bay Plantation popped in my head, and I messaged them, and they were ecstatic. And it was like in 3 days, we're like, well, I guess we're going to do a mushroom festival now.
All right, cool.
So we got all local people. We have mushroom cultivators. We've got medicinal mushroom experts that knows way more about the extracts than I do.
right.
I've got outdoor mushroom cultivators that cultivate on tree logs versus these bags. I got an expert on that. He's out of where is he out of? Andalusia.
Okay.
He does the Palafox market in Pensacola a lot. But he, Mark Haynes is his name, with Sweet Bill Mushrooms. He does outdoor mushroom growing. He is a forestry guy, expert on trees. So we have a tree expert. We got foraging mushroom experts. We got cultivators. Me with the fruiting mushrooms. Alan with Fungi Farm with the grow kits. We've got Natasha Lambert with Be Lightful Homestead, and she is the plant expert in this area.
Okay.
So she's gonna be, and then Melissa with Cedar and Moon Apothecary, and she's another plant expert. So we've got the plants covered. Then we have Kitty Cooper with Cooper Farms and Foley, and she is a native plant and citrus nursery, and so she's an expert on native plants and citrus trees. So we're trying to kind of hit the whole, not just mushrooms. We're trying to hit all the just nature. I feel like it all kind of ties,
No, I think it's a
ties in.
fantastic idea.
When I was growing up, the funniest thing about all this to me is when I was growing up, my dad made us pick what we wanted to be when we grew up, and he did remodeling. My stepmom did faux finish painting, so they're
Okay.
the remodel team. Our house was projects everywhere, my whole childhood. But my choice was a mad scientist, so everything in my bedroom was spray painted chrome with chrome trimming and chrome bunk bed and all this and that. And then when I got into this, I called my dad. I was like, dude, I'm a mad scientist now. I didn't even go to school for it.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
One of the questions we always ask everybody, it's interesting to see what the answer is. Living here in Fairhope. Mm-hmm. Well, first, do you live here in town, or are you in another little town?
We're in Daphne.
Okay.
Yeah, so not
Love
far.
Daphne.
So you do all your planning and growing and stuff like that in Daphne?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whenever you go out, y'all go out to eat. Where y'all go? What's the favorite place? Hey, we're going out to eat, and you don't even have to ask. You're going where?
So it would either, especially now that I don't work at Dragonfly, I don't eat it every day. Dragonfly, because I know the kitchen, I know the food, I know where he gets the food. I know it's gonna be great every time. So Dragonfly, especially for my wife, because I didn't want to go to Dragonfly because I work there all the time. So now Dragonfly is an option. But besides that, for if I was talking paying a little more upscale, Southwood, hands down, all across the board.
Jeremiah does a hell of a job.
He does.
Around this area, Southwood is by far my favorite, or Red or White. Red or White's right behind it. To me, Doug, Jeremiah, and David are my favorite chefs, personality-wise, and their just style of all of it.
I can see it.
of how they look at food.
It's a cool
Okay.
style.
Now here's-
They're all different, but they're great styles.
But they're all good. I mean,
They're
can take
very
ingredients and
flavorful.
work with them.
Yeah,
Yeah, just the perspective on how they look at ingredients, I feel like, and I don't know, I love it. I love both all their mindsets on all of it.
I'm waiting for David to grow up and get a real kitchen one day. Could you imagine what he could do?
Does he want to? That's the question.
Well, I mean,
He's
happy
making his
where he
money
is,
off wine.
but, dude, if he had a real kitchen, come on.
Yeah, for sure.
Be amazing.
For sure.
All right. If there is anything you could change about where you live, politically, like we asked this to one of our guys, and I loved his answer. He said, I want a high-speed train from Fairhope to Pensacola.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great idea because I want 104 to be 4-laned all the way into Pensacola.
Oh,
I think
my
that'd be fantastic. So if there's anything on the that's not on the list or on the list, what do you want to see happen over the next 5-10 years?
Easy question for me. I don't like seeing all of these developing neighborhoods just tearing down all these trees.
Thank you.
And I'm just
They do
driving
mow
around
down
foraging.
everything, don't
I mean,
they?
I'm foraging for a living now. Not saying like full time, but like during foraging season, I'm driving around a lot and just paying attention. And I have been for like 4 years. And it is insane how fast stuff is just disappearing.
Yeah.
And then in 6 months, there's a whole neighborhood there.
well, and they're
Not necessarily that like I'm telling people stop moving here, but I just
Oh,
want
yeah, I'll say it.
conservation to be
Yeah.
conservation needs to be a big thing.
Thank you.
And then like Kitty Cooper with native plants and stuff like that needs to be paid attention to. We're in a very, very biologically diverse area down here, and I don't think a lot of people really realize how diverse it is down here. But once you start taking out little things, it starts a domino effect.
Is
you
it
do
is
eat
it Tan the Mushroom Man or Mushroom Man Tan? Or,
Mushroom Man Tan.
all right,
Mushroom Man Tan. All right.
so,
I'm not
so here's the
lying
thing.
anyway,
well, and if they were to Google you,
yeah, Google me. It's Mushroom Man Tan.
there you
Mushroom Man Tan, right?
Mushroom Man
Which
Tan.
will be down in the description.
Yeah.
go. Yes.
But if there's something you could do, like if you could buy X number of acres of land and plant whatever you want to plant so that you had a naturally mushroom friendly.
Industry, forest.
Yeah, a forest. I mean, how
mushroom-friendly
big and what
forest.
would that
Well,
look
that'd be
like?
every
Would it
forest.
be all pines? Would it be oak? Well, no, you had to have oaks
Yeah,
for some of it.
I would say predominantly oaks for sure.
Now, after Hurricane Sally, a lot of those oaks laid down. The next year was pretty good.
Yeah, not necessarily for the chanterelles because they grow off the living trees, but
Okay.
Stuff like oysters and turkey tails and things like that. Definitely, I went back and I wish I was more into the log cultivating on outdoor mushroom growing. Because I would have been riding around. Now that I have a chainsaw, I was like, I would have been riding around helping people. Like, oh, you need that tree removed? Like, I'll come do it for you.
I got you, bro.
I'll take 'em- I'll take the logs too.
Well, now you do a foraging excursions,
Class.
right?
Yeah, excursion.
Typically, I try to do them about every other week, and I rotate between Daphne and Mobile. I do them at Village Point Park in Daphne on typically Sundays. I'm doing one on Saturday this next weekend.
Well, now how many people do you take at a time?
I do up to 30.
No
Wow.
way.
Yeah, I've had ones where we've had like 50 people on them, and that's when I said I can't do more than 30.
Well, now if
And I
somebody
had two
was,
people help. I had one person helping on the 50-person one, but even like 30 people
That's
by
a lot.
myself is kind of a lot to.
All right, so what if we got a corporate group? 10, 15 folks, 20 folks that want to do some, outdoorsy type
Yeah,
adventure. You could take care of them, right?
yeah, definitely. I haven't done a ton of like private things yet, so we're still kind of thinking about like the pricing of it and everything. But I've definitely had a few people recently approach me about that. Another thing that people have asked me about recently that we're working on the pricing of is that I'm really excited for is land consultations and teaming up with Natasha from Delightful Homestead, and basically going out on someone's property, scoping it out, and just seeing what all we find, and like kind of labeling and telling you what is growing where, and you can come back every year and it'll be growing in the same general area.
Now that's cool.
So it's kind of like a never-ending resource when we come out there and we'll teach you what's growing on your land.
Okay.
Wow.
Natasha's already been doing it with the plants, but I just had someone ask to do it for mushrooms. So we've been kind of talking about teaming up.
And that would be fantastic for, not only like people from restaurants that, may own land places, but venues. I mean, think about, if you have a venue that does weddings and you provide catering and all that stuff like that, that would be great.
I think a good one would be hunting clubs too. Because
yeah.
chanterelle
Clubs,
because
yeah.
chanterelle mushrooms, they grow the opposite season of hunting season. So people that are paying for these land leases for hunting clubs and managing it all year, and they might have work days that they go up there and work during
They could be
the off season.
trails.
We could come up there and tell them that they got chanterelles, and they could be out there foraging, hunting mushrooms.
Or if they weren't interested
season.
in that, they could just contact you and let you come forage them, right?
Yeah, and I'll actually I have a friend in Mobile. It's the first person that I've kind of set up with this, and I pay him a percentage of my sales on the chanterelles, and he calls me when he has them growing on his land. And almost every time I go out there, I pick 25 pounds, and I pay him a percentage, and then I turn around and sell them, and he makes a good amount of money.
You're
I make
happy
a good
he's
amount of
happy.
money. Yeah.
That'll definitely pay for some corn,
have a
for
beer,
some deer.
eat some food together. We go out and pick mushrooms together, and then I cash app him money after we weigh them. And
That's cool, man.
yeah, so if people have these little bright orange mushrooms on their property, contact me, and I'll pay you to come pick them.
Sweet, that's awesome.
And that is on Facebook at the Mushroom Man Tan.
Yep.
All right.
You can,
Okay.
You can just send me a message about it.
And you can find that in the link, and you can also subscribe and click the bell.
Oh, and we're also working on a website. I'm very excited about this. In the short future, there will be a website for Mushroom Man Tan, and we're trying to tell people to be careful on who messages you. Make sure you're only replying to Mushroom Man Tan
Yeah, we'll get off there, and I'll
messages.
talk to you about all the stuff I've done on building a website. And
It's getting crazy with
But we'll
the spam
also
people.
update our subscriber
Description, yeah.
Yeah,
Once you get it
we'll-
going, we'll update
Yeah,
the
we'll
description.
update
of
it.
the
definitely
Thank you,
let
guys.
us know when, and we'll start promoting it.
Thank
on
you
everything
guys,
that
because
we
the
do.
spam thing is getting out of hand. It's
it's
crazy.
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. All right, so did we miss anything?
I don't think so.
Is there anything that you wanted to talk about we didn't?
Yeah, is
Touch
there
on-
any other products that you do that you want to talk about, or?
No, not particularly. We talked
All right,
about that.
cool.
I do. I guess the one thing we didn't talk about is I do in-depth, like 2-hour classes about mushroom growing. I do them for indoor cultivation, which would be these bags that I showed, and I do outdoor cultivation classes where
Okay.
you make your own tree log, and then you get to take home either a grow kit or a mushroom log that you made. I just did one this last weekend at Cornucopia on tree logs, and then this next weekend we're doing one on the mushroom bags for indoor growing.
So it's pretty much every weekend you've got something going on.
Now that I'm not working at Dragonfly, that's what I'm kind of working
Okay.
towards.
All right.
Well,
Now-
do you
now
have an
she's-
average price for what you do on that?
on what?
The last
classes.
thing, the classes that you were just talking about.
Yeah, typically they're about $50 on
Okay.
the outdoor and the indoor.
And
mushroom
what
growing.
and what all they get? You what'd you say?
It's about 2 hours. I do a lecture, and then we also have a Q&A session where you can kind of just ask me whatever you want. But I
Okay.
do a lecture at the beginning and kind of give you the basics of what a mushroom is, why it grows, and how you want to make it grow.
Okay.
And then the mushroom log class, we make our own logs. So you'll go home with like a tree log it's inoculated with a certain strain
Ready
of
to go.
mushroom. Yep.
That's
And then
really
you kind of wait. You got to wait for about 6 to 8 months for it to produce something. But you make your own and take it home. And then same with the grow bag class, you take a kit home and to apply the knowledge and stuff that we give y'all.
So we have changed our name.
Yes.
It's going to be Coast. They voted for it.
Yeah.
Well, we did. It was thanks for everybody that responded on the emails. Coastal Compass was definitely the most voted for. We did have everybody also recommended that allegedly a podcast was a great tagline.
Oh yeah, I love
So-
that. As
I
a
love
tagline.
that.
This will be the Coastal Compass, allegedly a podcast. That is our official name from now on.
Yep, you're here.
I do need to figure out everybody that voted for Coastal Compass, put together a drawing. We will have a $25 bar tab at the Fly Bar that I got to get set up with Amy.
I'm down with that. She can do it.
Yeah, she can take care of us.
Yeah, she's got it.
So we will do that drawing in our next podcast.
Tanner, go.
Thank you for coming on. We've been trying to get you on for a while, but Levi had such a great connection to you. And it makes sense now. It makes so much sense.
I'm going to say this.
Go ahead.
Because this is a very weird idea that I've had for the last couple of weeks while we've been doing this. I know your stepdad is a tattoo artist. Mm-hmm. And we are willing.
Yeah.
Here we go.
He.
Yeah.
I am willing. Hey, this may get cut out. Whatever. I don't care. I'm going to pitch it. That I would like to get a tattoo live for one of our podcasts. Literally live. Like this one is not going to be
in this office.
Yeah, not in, apparently, this guy over here doesn't want any
I don't know
ink
if we
going
could,
in
I don't know if
here,
it could
but
be legal.
but we would and it would be a great promotion from for his business, but
He thinks.
not that he even needs it. I mean, let's be honest with you. Between the Doug and Mike Kerr, he can make his yearly salary. But I would like to get a tattoo live.
And this is your father?
This is stepfather, yes.
Stepdad.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I would like to do it live, and I would like him to do it. And it doesn't have to be anything extravagant, but if you
He's
can
got
talk
the
him
place.
into
He's
it.
got the place here in town.
Yeah, he's at Man of War.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. There
And
you
his
go.
name is
Frank Thrasher.
Frank Thrasher.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Frank
All right.
Thrasher.
Thrasher the Tattoo Smasher. There we go. Anyways, all right, so we're signing out. This has been a great podcast so far. Let's wrap this up. Tanner, how can we alert
How can we
our
find you?
Yeah.
So right now, just Facebook and Instagram at Mushroom Man Tan. We are currently working on a website, so hopefully in the next month we're going to have a website out, and we're going to shoot for mushroommantan.com.
Okay, that'd be great.
Firewatchentertainment.net. If you want to be on this podcast, come on down. Firewatchentertainment.net. You can get in touch with me that way, or get in touch with Chris or Levi. And all of our information is down in the description, comment, something. But we do want you to comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, like us. We need all the help we can get, and share us, because we're trying to build the podcast. We want more people like Tanner here to come on and have some fun with us.
All right, so for a local business owner, Shoebox Real Estate, Chris Burgess at gobellator.com. You can find me anyway, all those different ways. But the big thing, part of growing up in this community, living in this community, moving into this community, if you've got a business that you want to promote, try us out. We don't have a massive following. We're working on that. But bringing in people like Tanner, bringing in people like Cam Jackson with the Chamber, bringing in Amy with Flybar, all that. We all live down here. We're on the Eastern Shore. We're in Lower Alabama. We're down here, and this is a great way to throw your stuff out there. So we're getting ready to go cut a little deal for Tanner here. Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm down. Let's do it.